The conflict in the Middle East between Israel and Iran is having a significant impact not only on the stock markets there. The price of oil has shot up by 10% in the past week and is now building on that rise. But many companies are able to benefit from the conflict. We look at the oil sector and other sectors that are gaining strength as a result of this situation. Maybe that's what can have a significant impact on your investment portfolio. Hi investors, this is Chris from 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝚀. None of the information in this video is an investment recommendation. Always do your own analysis. Conflict in the Middle East is not exactly new to stock markets, but every time it mainly affects specific sectors that are already making money from it. As oil is extracted on the territory of not only the countries involved, it is clear that its price will be affected by this action. But this is not the only sector that has seen increased volatility in the last week. In addition, at the end of the video, you will find a comparison with previous similar crises, as well as an outlook on how the current one might develop. Iran-Israel war weighs on India's oil reserves. India, which has been the new hope for investors in Asia in recent years, is coming under considerable pressure after some large companies, including, for example, Apple, are moving their manufacturing processes to India, which is clearly one of the largest countries in terms of population. It has offered new investment opportunities at a time when many investors have been pulling out of China. Not only this interesting information is available firsthand to 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗰𝗸 Black members in Flash News. The BSE Sensex Index, which tracks the performance of the 30 largest companies listed on the Mumbai Stock Exchange, has already written off over 660 points today, breaking the 81,000 point mark. The Nifty 50, which tracks the performance of India's 50 largest stocks, fell below 25,000 points. It is already down 6% from its peak. As markets are expected to remain jittery in the near term, we advise investors to take this opportunity to get into quality large caps from a long-term perspective, said 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗰𝗸, Vice President, Capital Markets Strategy, Sharekhan. Global oil prices surged more than 4% last Wednesday, rising sharply after President Biden told reporters he was debating the question of whether the U.S. would support an Israeli attack on Iran's oil facility. Brent crude, the global benchmark for oil, closed at $7.62, still lower than it has been for most of 2024. But if we look at other knobs in the same region, oil prices have always been significantly higher during times of war. They were trading well above $100 a barrel. Analysts were even talking about $120 to $130 a barrel. But this year, oil has gotten to much lower levels, and so it has a longer way to go to get to those levels. At the moment, however, it does not look like values above USD 100. Investors at 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗋 are now discussing its possible future development. Companies like Occidental Petroleum, which is also being bought by Warren Buffett, has gained 9% in the past week, and today it looks like it will continue to grow. However, shares of renowned oil companies such as Chevron and Equinor have also strengthened. ExxonMobil has reached new highs, rising 8.5% in the last 5 trading days. If you want to know the fair prices of all these companies, get 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗋. Plus, you get detailed stock analysis, a calendar with company results, or unbeatable flash news. Join the 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗋 community now. However, one interesting stock may be Bharat Petroleum, which is an Indian oil producer. We are preparing a separate video on the companies that are doing the best due to the current situation and could strengthen significantly. So subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss these interesting pieces. Another sector that is benefiting from this conflict is the arms industry. Shares of several major U.S. defense firms, Lockheed Martin, RTX, Northrop Grumman, and L3Harris, surged when the Israeli military reported missile attacks from Iran the day after Israeli ground forces entered Lebanon. Which of these companies are undervalued at an all-time high, and which are expensive? The fair prices on 𝗕𝗂𝗶𝗀𝗋 will tell you all. The iShares U.S. Aerospace and Defense rose 2.1% as the BlackRock managed fund indexing the defense sector hit a new all-time high and extended its 12-month gain to 43%, outperforming the S&P 500. Defense stocks typically rise in times of escalated conflict because the company's earnings largely depend on U.S. government contracts, which often reach when allies like Israel and Ukraine are at war. The current market situation has brought back unpleasant memories of the late 2021 siege, early 2022 setup. when supply chain issues and military conflict, Russia's invasion of Ukraine, caused global inflation to spike and stocks to fall. However, the current situation should not have such an impact on the global economy. Do you invest in stocks in India or the Middle East? Share it in the comments or with investors on Bulios. Markets in India and the Middle East may be falling, but in China, for example, stocks are rising the most in 16 years, thanks to government stimulus. Detailed information on what's happening in the Chinese market, along with tips on interesting Chinese stocks, can be found in the previous 2 videos, so check them out. Good luck with your investments.